The Trump administration, unless they're stopped by Judge Xinis in Maryland or by Judge Crenshaw in Tennessee, are about to deport Kilmar Abrego Garcia, not to Costa Rica, where he said he was willing to go, but deport him to Liberia, according to the Trump administration, an up-and-coming democracy that's English-speaking and will protect his rights. This is more vindictiveness. This is more abusive process. This is more prosecutorial misconduct, no matter what you call it. And Judge Xinis is going to have to put a stop to it. We've got a couple of things, spinning plates happening at the same time. Judge Crenshaw has announced he's going to be holding a trial, an evidentiary hearing on the 4th and 5th of November about whether the indictment for human trafficking brought against Abrego Garcia is going to be dismissed because of vindictive prosecution or not. And I'm telling you, he's leaning that way based on his orders already. But the Trump administration just filed with Judge Xinis, and I have it here. We're going to post it up on Substack today, just gave notice that no, they're going to get rid of him by the 31st of October and send him to cyberspace, to Liberia. I'll give you time to look it up on the map. In Africa. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who speaks English and Spanish, who is offered to go to Costa Rica. Now, they made that deal. They made that offer, the Trump administration, because they wanted to try to bury Abrego Garcia. They told him months ago, after he was indicted, that if he pled guilty to the indictment, they would send him to Costa Rica. And they said, no, dismiss the indictment and I'll go to Costa Rica. But no, they want their pound of flesh. We're covering it all right here. It's Sunday morning on Legal AF. Let me read to you from the notice. Now, remember, there's a Judge Crenshaw in Middle District of Tennessee over the criminal case brought by the Department of Justice. Let's rewind a moment as you catch up with this story already in progress. Back in March, during a manhunt, a gathering of other human beings sent in the middle of the night without due process to Costa Rica, they caught Kilmar Abrego Garcia, except he had an order that said he could not be sent to El Salvador, where he was sent and promptly tortured. It took 2 orders by the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals, a 9-0 decision by the United States Supreme Court, and multiple orders by Judge Xinis to get him back. And only after they, in a phony, vindictive prosecution moment, indicted him for something that happened 3 years ago during a traffic stop. Magistrate judge that took a look at it in Middle District of Tennessee said, there's nothing here. I'm not even going to allow him. He can be free man. I'm not even going to hold him in pretrial detention. Judge Crenshaw said, I'm concerned about vindictive prosecution and set that trial. But there's a separate wheel that's spinning. Now, Judge Xinis is overseeing the immigration process, but apparently he's back in the immigration process. And the Trump administration is trying to get him and bury their mistake, get him out of the country, and punish him by sending him to Liberia. Here's the notice. Filed in Judge Xinis' courtroom in Maryland, who's responsible for his constitutional rights. Federal defendants, that's the Trump administration, hereby provide notice that they've identified a new country for removal, the Republic of Liberia. Although petitioner has identified more than 20 countries that he purports to fear would prosecute or torture him, Liberia is not on the list. Liberia is a thriving democracy. Is this like a tourism ad for Liberia and one of the nation's closest partners on the African continent? In fact, Liberia named its capital Monrovia in honor of a U.S. president. Its national language is English. And it has a constitution modeled after ours. Okay, good for you. What does it have to do with Kilmar Abrego Garcia, whose U.S. American wife lives in, and his children, who are American citizens, live in Maryland? Federal defendants have received diplomatic assurances regarding the treatment of third country removals removed to Liberia and are making final necessary arrangements for his removal. Defendants expect to be able to effectuate removal as soon as October 31, in a week. This is a wake-up call for the criminal defense lawyers, including Sean Hecker, who I know in Middle District of Tennessee, to file appropriate relief. Get a federal judge and or Xinis, Judge Xinis, to stop this deportation. Call everybody in. Liberia is not okay. Here's what the lawyers for Abrego Garcia have said in their statement. Simon Sandoval Moschenberg said, Costa Rica stands ready to accept him as a refugee, a viable and lawful option. Yet the government has chosen a course calculated to inflict maximum hardship. These actions are punitive, cruel, and unconstitutional. After failed attempts with Uganda, Eswatini, and Ghana, ICE now seeks to deport our client to Liberia, a country with which he has no connection, thousands of miles from his family and his home in Maryland. I've said this before. Judge Xinis should go out on a limb, use her equitable powers, find that his constitutional rights were abused, that he was tortured upon arrival in El Salvador, and grant him asylum. I believe she has the power to do that. And she should. And then let them challenge it. Let the Trump administration challenge it up on appeal. But to just sit by blithely and be like, well, a human being's about to be sent to Liberia thousands of miles from his family for having done nothing wrong and be deported from this country as his indictment falls by the wayside and gets dismissed for vindictive prosecution. Use your equitable inherent authority as a federal judge. Judge Xinis, now would be the time. There's going to be new filings. This is going to be a very fast-moving story. The lawyers only have less than a week. So come to Legal AF Substack, where I'll do live reports and updates. I'll post the notice so you can read it, along with and just to catch you up just briefly here, in the Middle District of Tennessee, the criminal case, they are seeking, and this is why this is so retaliatory, they are seeking, on the defense side, to have Todd Blanche, the number 2 in the Department of Justice, and others there testify about vindictive prosecution. And I think because the judge already cited to Todd Blanche's video interview on Fox as the basis for finding at this preliminary stage vindictive prosecution, I think he's going to have to stand for a depo. So there's updated filings related to that. I'll post that on Substack as well. I'll post this notice. It's all coming to a head. Crenshaw setting a trial November 4 and 5 has triggered the Department of Justice, and now they're trying to get and bury their mistake in Abrego Garcia, another human being. I'm covering it all right here at the corner of law and politics, as I always do. Come over to Legal AF Substack. Now is the time to defend what we are doing. You have the First Amendment right to hear from us and our commentary and 12 videos a day sometimes. And we have the First Amendment right to speak to you and give you our independent commentary. It's not influenced by outside investors. We don't have any. It's not influenced by a paywall. We don't have one. But for $6.77 a month, you can become a card-carrying member of Legal AF, and we would appreciate it. Now is the time. We're all under attack by this Trump administration. So until my next report, I'm Michael Popok. I'm Michael Popok, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touches Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popok Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popok Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event, by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states. States and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popok firm today at 1-877-POPOK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopokfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popok firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.